How about a mini version of The Insiders, which you can catch every night once we get back to our usual rhythm at 7 p.m. Eastern on NFL Network. Ian Rappaport,
Tomorrow.
Tom Pelissero joining me, Mike Garafolo here as we go through some news around the league. Ian, we will start with you. Matt Eberflus making the decision on how much, if any, his starters are going to play in the preseason.
Well, let's start with the fact that Caleb Williams not going to play in this preseason game. That is the most important news coming out of the Chicago Bears. The Hall of Fame game not going to have Caleb Williams, which really not a surprise. None of the starters are really going to play, and that's, generally the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game make this decision just too quick. And I think, a lot of teams end up using this as a way to kind of sort out the bottom of the roster. So if you were wondering what was Caleb Williams going to be like in his first preseason game, you're going to get to find out, just not this week. Meanwhile, we did have another development at the quarterback position. Russell Wilson, the Steelers' potential starter, was back in individual drills. His calf has healed enough for him to get out on the practice field. So that is a step in the right direction. I think the next question, guys, is what did this mean? What did his injury being out for the first several days of camp, what did it mean for the quarterback competition? Has it allowed Justin Fields enough time to kind of swoop in there and maybe even things up? Time will tell on that, but at least Russell Wilson back at practice for the Steelers.
Yeah, he's had some steady progress there. He's been getting the mental reps, but now back on the field doing a little bit more, and they hope that continues to progress. Tom, now to the guys that the quarterbacks throw the football to the wide receiver position. A couple of updates there. Start with Ja'Marr Chase in Cincinnati.
Mike, the update on Ja'Marr Chase is there is no update. Still not participating in practice as the Bengals put on the pads earlier today. We know that Coach Zach Taylor has said that he and Chase have had a great communication, that this is all part of the plan. But certainly at this point, the plan appears to be what we've seen happening in a variety of spots around the league, which is Ja'Marr Chase holding in, not holding out until he gets a new contract. Owner Mike Brown has said recently that he would bend over backwards to get a Chase deal done, but also indicated what a lot of people in the league thought, which was that's probably more of a 2025 issue. All of a sudden, everybody else is getting paid. Ja'Marr Chase hoping his payday comes sooner than later. We will be monitoring that situation in Cincinnati with a guy who posted a career-high 100 catches last season. Meanwhile, we'll also be monitoring the status of Saints wide receiver Chris Olave, who, according to Coach Dennis Allen, fell on his hip in practice earlier today. Olave did not finish off that practice. Allen said that he has no further information at this point. It's not a knee, it's not an ankle, but we've seen hip injuries potentially keep guys out for a while, so we'll be continuing to see what the update is on Chris Olave, who of course is an enormous part of a Saints offense that's going to be trying to do some different things this year with Clint Kubiak calling the plays.
Meanwhile, with the Giants, they survived an injury scare of their own. Brian Burns, whom they traded, or they acquired in a trade, from the Carolina Panthers this offseason, and gave him a big boatload of money. Injured his ankle at practice. Brian Daboll saying to reporters it's not serious. How not serious was it? Well, he participated in practice today. So the collective breath that was being held by the Giants let out that they got their pass rusher out there. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the NFC East, with Saquon Barkley getting a personal day, the Eagles moving Kenny Gainwell and Will Shipley up, getting first-team reps. The rookie there who has been impressive so far in his short stay in Philadelphia, starting to get some action there with the first-teamers and trying to figure out if he'll carve a role in this Eagles backfield. Now, it won't be like last year where they rolled everybody through that backfield throughout the course of the season. Saquon Barkley got all that money, and he will be getting the bulk of the workload this entire season. But who will be able to spell these guys? Kenny Gainwell has the experience, but Shipley starting to work his way in. Also with the Eagles, veteran Nick Gates, who used to be with the Giants, then the Commanders, now with the Eagles, the interior offensive lineman. He signed with the Eagles today as he makes his tour of the NFC East. One more note we want to add here. This is bad news for the Lions. John Kaminsky, the defensive tackle, Ian and I just reported just a couple of moments ago. In fact, he tweeted while we were talking here that Kaminsky is going to miss 5 to 6 months with a torn MCL suffered in practice, will need surgery. Not a huge name, but he is a key cog up there for that Detroit Lions and their defensive front, which they have poured a lot of resources into. Catch the Insiders every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, NFL Network. Again, once this inside training camp thing is over, we're going to get back into our rhythm.
Tomorrow.
We will have you
We're on
every
tomorrow.
night in prime time.
We're on tomorrow.
We're on tomorrow, sure, but not regular.
We have a show tomorrow. You're on the show.
Little taste.
You should know this.
I'm just saying.
I know that based on the background, you're at a monster
tomorrow.
truck rally or something, but you could read the emails.
All right, Red Shirt, you're out of here. See you later.